Scientific method is more of a cycle than a linear process. Then after that, you have to publish your results in order for it to be peer-reviewed. Publish your findings in a peer-reviewed journal. Here we are getting more into the natural science, into real science. The first steps here, they are applied in any problem you encounter in your daily life. So this is not limited to scientists. All of us actually apply this method, the scientific method. But when we talk about how scientists come up with discoveries, how scientists come up with theories, they have to publish their finding in real peer-reviewed journals. Why do they do that? Because they need their peers to critique it. So that's here where everything will be subjected to critique and scrutiny of the scientific community. So science is always changing, because when you publish a theory or when you publish a certain conclusion, there are always people that will test, replicate your experimental design and add to it. That's why always theories start simple. You start any theory with simple findings, with simple postulates, if you will. Then with time, it gets more and more complicated, because more people, more scientific teams are publishing the results, and eventually we are getting more information. We're learning more about this phenomena. Okay, this is the case with the atomic theory, with plate tectonics theory, with evolution theory. Everything started simple, by simple publication by scientists who did experiment, controlled experiment. And then the scientific community weighs in, and they do their due diligence, and they published new findings and so on. And this is the confusion about science. Many people are confused about science because science is always changing, especially right now when we are dealing with the pandemic, and scientists sometimes go back and review their conclusion about things and come up with new things. People who do not know about the scientific process find that to be confusing. They find that to be maybe deceiving, maybe they think about scientists, backtracking and so on. But this is the nature of science. We always learn more. And here with the pandemic, everything is taking place at real time. We usually read about the results of science. We don't see science in real time. So this is maybe the first time, or almost the first time, the public are seeing science taking place in real time. But that's actually how we eventually get to a solution, by all scientific teams joining forces and doing research. And very important about the research to be what we call it random controlled research. When we talk about random and controlled, random here refers to the subjects, the population that you are testing. You need to make sure that you randomly select your subjects. And controlled, of course, you control what? You control the variable. Okay, you control the variable. We know in each experiment there is always variables. There are constants, variable and constants. There is the independent and dependent variables. Of course, the independent variable is the variable that you manipulate as conductor of the experiment, while the dependent variable will follow the independent variable. So random controlled research is actually the research that is qualified to produce authentic results. It will give you results that can be published and accepted by the scientific community. So we get our information as scientists. When we make a claim, we get our information from scientific journals that publish random controlled research. We don't get our information from social media or from politicians or from other resources, or even from people who claim to be experts, but they did not do the random controlled research. We seek to be informed by reading the research that is published in peer-reviewed research journals that basically adhere to the conditions of random controlled research. So this is important, especially right now with all the confusion about the pandemic, understanding how science works and the scientific process.